We were lucky. As lucky as one could be when faced with a gun. They attacked the Serbi colony much sooner than was expected, and we had little time to react. We took on as much civilians as we could before the convoy was finally forced to retreat, and even then not all of the ships were able to make it. Out of an evacuation fleet of 300 ships, ours was just one of the 120 that were able to escape. Including our escorts, most of which were nothing more than lightly armored missile corvettes that were not destroyed during the initial attack, while a few others were nothing more than hastily converted cargo ships that were now armed. With Serbi lost, our only hope now was to make it back to Ally-controlled space before the gun could get us. The war with the gun at this point in time had been going on for a few months at this point, and the Alliance had yet to initiate a proper counter-offensive. We had been sent in to evacuate the outer colonies before the gang could attack them. Unfortunately for us, the gang attacked Serbi before we could complete the operation. We were only able to escape because the escort fleet stayed behind to hold back the gun. But we had not heard from said fleet for days now, and there was no doubt in anyone's mind that the Gan war fleet would come looking for us. It was well known throughout the known galaxy that the Gan were a predatory race that actively hunted other species for sport. It was the whole reason why the war began in the first place, and in that time, the Gan had developed a reputation of hunting down ships that tried to escape. I don't even want to tell you just what they did to those that they captured. I will spare you that much. But I can remember when our sensors began to detect a pair of Gan war barges approaching us. I could feel all my stomachs fall to the metal floor when my sensor officer made the announcement. We were nothing more than merchant ships with only a handful of glorified patrol ships for protection. The Gan would be on top of us and we would not stand a chance. But it was at that point when my officer suddenly announced that one of our ships had broken formation and was now moving to intercept the two war barges. Upon investigation, I soon discovered the identity of the now rogue vessel. MV Rawalpindi, a human ship, and one of the armed freighters in our convoy. Almost immediately, I ran to my communications officer and had them send a message to the human ship, telling them to return to formation. But they didn't listen. They didn't listen. They just continued their intercept course towards the Gan. But finally, they responded to my calls. "Captain Kenner," I all but yelled out. "What do you think you are doing?" "We're moving in to engage the war barges," the human captain replied. His voice sounded calm. It was as if the fact that he and his crew were facing certain death didn't even faze him. "But you'll be destroyed. Return to the convoy at once." "I cannot do that, Captain Mel," Kenner replied, his voice still showing no signs of emotion at all. "I am very aware of the situation, but I am also well aware that there are over 30,000 civilians on board the other ships, and the Gan will catch us before we are able to go to slipspace. I have orders to ensure that the convoy makes it to safety, and I intend to do just that." "But those are Gan war barges." "Yes, I know. We'll fight them both. They will destroy us, and that will be that. Goodbye." That was the last transmission we received from the Rawalpindi, before they eventually engaged the Gan ships. They were hopelessly outgunned by the Gan ships and outnumbered, but they continued to engage the war barges without hesitation. Even as their hull was ripped apart by energy weapons, the human cargo ship continued to fight, with their railguns continuing to eat away at the war barges' hulls. Then, in one last act of defiance, the Rawalpindi, with all her guns now silent and engulfed in plasma fires, rammed one of the war barges with a speed, destroying itself along with the Gan warship, while the other was disabled by the blast shockwave. Yet we never received a distress signal from the human ship, even as it became very clear that it was doomed. But Kenner's actions had not been in vain. He managed to slow and eventually stop the Gan ships long enough for us to escape. In the end, he had saved us. I remember meeting with representatives from his people and telling him about what he had done, of how he and his crew sacrificed themselves to save others. I would later find out that Captain Kenner and his crew were eventually honoured by their people for their actions, being posthumously awarded something called the General Unit Citation by their government, while my government gave them the Order of Valmin for their apparent heroism. To this day, a replica of the Rawalpindi exists in the Hall of Honours on my homeworld, as their actions ensured thousands of my people were able to make it to safety. Now I find out that the humans have launched a new type of missile corvette named the Kenner class, while another merchant now carries the name Rawalpindi. I just hope that they too carry on the spirit of the ship, and its commander they are now named after.